Thunderbelt is Aldous' core piece of equipment, which works well with Aldous' first skill. The cooldown reduction and mana regen from the Thunderbelt will help Aldous to buff his first skill even faster. Build Endless Battle in the late game to further boost Aldous' first skill. Aldous is strong against heroes who cannot pressure him in the early game, so that he can easily build up the damage buff for his first skill, such as Zilong and Leomord. Aldous is countered by heroes who are strong in the early game. They would make it very difficult for Aldous to build up the damage buff he needs. Heroes like Martis and Deroth are good examples here. Aldous works well with heroes that are strong in the early game so that he can farm efficiently, such as Balmond and Bruno.
You have slain an enemy.
We recommend upgrading Aldous' first skill at level 1. Then prioritize upgrading it. Aldous' first skill is his core damage dealing tool. Since he can permanently increase the damage of his first skill after killing an enemy target with it, so try to use only his first skill for the kill, so that Aldous can buff his first skill as quickly as possible. Aldous' first skill enters cooldown after being released, so he should pre-cast it before he closes in on the enemy target. After hitting the target with the enhanced basic attack, his first skill should be back up, and he can cast the skill again to deal heavy damage to the target with 2 enhanced basic attacks in a row. Aldous can cancel it during the dash of his ultimate, which can be used in some cases to create a distraction or as a movement skill.
Our turret has been destroyed.
In the laning phase, use Aldous' first skill to enhance his next basic attack, then his second skill to close in on the enemy to hit them with his enhanced attack. Follow with another first skill to hit the enemy with another enhanced basic attack. In teamfights, use Aldous' ultimate to gain vision on the enemy team. Then use his ultimate again to dash to the most vulnerable target. After the dash, use Aldous' first and second skill combo to hit the enemy with his enhanced basic attacks.
Double kill. Triple kill.
Passive. Contract. Transform. After every 2 attacks, Aldous gains a shield on his next basic attack. The damage that the shield can absorb increases with the number of soul stacks he has. First skill, Contract, Soul Steal. Aldous casts his first skill to enhance his next basic attack. He will gain permanent Soul Steal stacks for each enemy killed with the enhanced basic attack. Each Soul Steal stack increases the damage boost from his first skill. Second skill, Contract, Explosion. Aldous casts his second skill to assume a defensive stance, gaining extra damage reduction and movement speed. When the stance expires or is cancelled manually, Aldous deals physical damage to nearby enemies and stuns them. The longer the defensive stance lasts, the more damage and longer stun duration the skill will inflict. Ultimate. Contract. Chase Fate. Aldous casts his ultimate to gain vision of all enemy heroes for 5 seconds. Aldous can cast his ultimate again during this time to dash toward an enemy hero, dealing physical damage and knocking them back upon hit. We recommend the Flicker battle spell for Aldous because it can make up for Aldous' lack of mobility in certain situations. We also recommend the Retribution battle spell for Aldous. Since Aldous is weak in the early game, farming creeps can be a good alternative to build up his strength. Aldous should focus on stacking Soul Steal to increase the damage of his first skill, and avoid facing the enemy heroes head-on. In the mid to late game, Aldous can try to push a lane all by himself to continue stacking up the Soul Steal buff, and then use his ultimate to move across the map when a teamfight is about to begin.